There's a special place in our homes for a certain category of belongings. It's not the junk drawer or the everyday cupboard. It's the someday pile. These are the things we hold on to, not for the lives that we're living, but for the lives we might live one day. Things that we keep just in case. Typically, we tell ourselves we're being practical, prepared, or wisely sentimental. But often, we're just postponing a decision. We let these items gather dust in attics, basements, boxes, and closets, believing their potential future value is important. But what is the cost of keeping them? It's the physical space they occupy and the mental energy required to store and manage them. But more than that, the cost is that all around us, people are living real lives with real needs right now. And your someday item is probably someone else's today need. And by holding on to usable items for a hypothetical future, we are withholding them from someone who could put them to immediate use today. So it is time to break the someday cycle. To get you started thinking, here are 7 things to stop saving and start sharing. Number one, outgrown children's clothes. That tiny onesie your child wore home from the hospital, or maybe even that stroller that's been sitting in the garage for years. Holding on to these items for a future child or grandchild is a beautiful thought, but it's never a foregone conclusion. Another family in your community, meanwhile, could be using that stroller today. A new parent might desperately need those baby clothes. Passing these items along allows someone else to create the same memories in their life that you created in yours. Number 2, related, maternity clothes and baby supplies. Again, it's easy to tuck these away after the baby arrives, thinking I might need these again. But styles change and life unfolds in unpredictable ways. That just-in-case box can sit for years and never get touched. Another expecting mother is navigating that season right now, often on a tight budget. So your items could ease her burden and bring her genuine relief when she needs it. So give her some of that help today. Number 3, unused furniture. The extra dining chairs that you held on to in the basement, the desk from your old apartment, that old couch. We save furniture for the bigger house we might buy, the guest room we might one day furnish, or just because it was so expensive it's hard to give away. But that furniture could be filling an empty apartment for a young person starting out, a family rebuilding after a hardship, a refugee family getting started over. Someone can be using it now. Number 4, the skinny clothes. We've all done it, held on to clothes from a different time in our lives, waiting for our bodies to change back to what they used to be. But this habit can make our closets feel like a museum of past selves, rather than a functional space for who we are now. Keep in mind, again, that those same clothes could be worn by someone who fits into them today. Someone could be wearing that dress to a job interview that changes her life. Some guy starting again could sure use that suit. Some high school girl without the money could wear that old prom dress. Free your clothes from storage and let them live up to their purpose, which is being worn. Number 5, excess hobby gear. If you have unused supplies in your garage or basement from a hobby that you used to do, or even one that you still practice but have more than necessary, spread the love of that hobby around by seeing if someone else can use it today. Number 6, unused linens and towels. It's tempting to keep linens, especially if they have a little bit of life in them. But a linen closet bursting at the seams creates daily frustration for a future possibility that rarely materializes. Animal shelters are almost always in need of old towels and blankets to provide comfort for their animals. So make a phone call and find out. And number 7, books you'll never read again. We often keep books as trophies, proof of what we've read or who we aspire to be. But a book sitting unopened on a shelf for a decade is just a bunch of paper. Its value is trapped. A book's true purpose is to be read, to spark thought, to provide escape. So release your unused books back into the world, both those you have read and those you thought you were going to read but never did. If a book brought joy and meaning into your life, one of the best things you can do with it is to share that joy with someone else. Sometimes letting go is a choice to believe that the best use of our possessions is to be useful, not cluttering up a home. Everybody, I'm really excited to announce my first faith-based book, Uncluttered Faith. If you are a Christian, if you love God, if you want to follow Jesus with your life, you're going to love this book and how it aligns minimalism with everything that Jesus invited us to. But I know not everyone who follows me online is a Christian, and so I would say this: if you're interested in spiritual things at all, if you're interested at all in how minimalism and spirituality combine together to form an important message, I think you'll like this book as well. But I'm really proud of it. It's a book I've been working on for years, and I think you're going to love it.